Welcome to Finest Work Songs. My name is Matt.
My name is also Matt.
All right, we just kicked off season 6. We are in 2022, also known as
the Triple Deuce. It's catching on, people.
Yeah. Thanks, Whitney, for using that hashtag.
Yeah.
Getting it going.
Yeah, I mean, it's exploding.
Gross. Yeah, we had a great time with Boys to Men.
They were so good.
Today we're doing the Boys to Men of the 2000s.
They do kind of wear matching outfits and things like that now.
Oh, they do now.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah. So
They've got their little, like, futuristic Oliver Twist thing going on.
And we're talking, of course, about Alabama.
What's Alabama known for? The band, that is, not the state.
Yeah.
I don't need to know what the state is known for. I think we're all well aware.
The band, I mean, Dixieland Delight, High Cotton.
No.
The closer you get.
I thought they had like a Mbappa Mau Mau type
No,
moment.
you're thinking of Oak Ridge Boys.
No, but I'm saying
Elvira.
a moment, like they had a song like that made them well known.
They had lots of songs. Major hit makers in the country.
I just don't know any of the songs.
They actually have their greatest hits, and there's some good songs on there.
Well, I'm sure we'll do an Alabama
at least
pod.
one.
Yeah. Okay, before we jump into Coldplay.
Oh, I thought we were doing cosplay. Oh, dang it.
That explains why you're dressed that way.
Yeah, I totally misread that text too quickly.
My daughter, MC, who listeners will know from our folklore epipod, she and her generation actually is really into Marvel.
Yeah.
In December, the Hawkeye series came out.
Okay, yep.
There's a point where he has to go into a cosplay situation.
Oh.
To get an actual relic back, he has to agree to come do cosplay.
Oh, gosh.
And lose to this guy. It's really funny.
Is it funny? Is it more action? Is it sort of
It's
in the
both.
Marvel?
It's great.
Okay.
It's in that. It's got a lot of humor to it.
Nice.
Yeah, that's really funny.
We always get so much listener interaction here on Finest Work Songs. We also get a ton of email that gets sent to us. We do like to share some of the really good emails and sentiments and messages and thoughts that some of you, the Finest Work Songs listeners, will send in. We do that in a little segment we call Kenny Gmail. This Kenny Gmail is actually in reference to our most recent Listener's Choice folklore epipod.
Oh, wow. A recent email.
Yeah. The author is Hairstyles Woman.
Oh, is it a Swiftie? Do we have a Swiftie
I
on our
imagine
hands?
Swifties are big on hairstyles. Probably what hairstyle Taylor's wearing now.
Sure.
What that means. What's the coded message in her new perm or whatever.
Right. Perm. Actually, I feel like she does have a perm. Probably on her Christmas album.
I think so.
Or early on.
This email says, I am no longer positive where you are getting your info, but great topic. I needs to spend a while finding out how much more or working out more. Thanks for fantastic information. I used to be in search of this information for my mission.
Oh.
Yeah.
And what do they need to be doing?
To spend a while finding out much more or working out more.
Okay.
I didn't see that coming. I thought I needs to find out more, maybe about Taylor Swift and folklore.
Well, those Swifties, they're very covert. I could see those Swifties being sort of those Mission Impossible type people, where it's a combination of action, fitness, and
really
espionage. So
yeah,
I'm glad that we could help that person out.
Yeah, whenever you needs something.
We're here to meet all your need.
This one comes from Jeffrey Gleaton at hotmail.com. He writes, I do like the manner in which you have framed this difficulty, plus it does provide me personally a lot of fodder for consideration. On the other hand, coming from what I've witnessed, I just wish when the actual commentary pack on that people keep on issue and in no way start on a soapbox regarding some other news of the day.
Does he have a website?
ifashionstyles.com.
Oh, how we've seen Fashion Styles before. Harry's brother.
Yeah, that's right. This is iFashion Styles.
Okay, let me look that up. Here we go. 15 best Dutch braid hairstyles to keep you trendy in 2020.
In 2020?
Yeah, and it's dated January 13th, 2022.
Nice.
Okay, here we go.
No, that's weird. I'm getting iFashion Styles ads on my Instagram now.
Thanks, Jeffrey. Matt, my phone is frozen.
Oh. But we do thank you for the email. We love all the email we get from the fans. So please, listeners, keep those emails coming. finestworksongs@gmail.com. Maybe we'll read one of yours in a future Kenny Gmail.
Listeners, we always like to begin with our memories. So, Matt, what is your memory of Coldplay, A Rush of Blood to the Head?
In 2002, Charity and I went to Charlotte.
Were you married at this point?
Yes, we've been married about a year and went to see U2 on the Elevation tour. Managed to get general admission. That stage on that tour was like a heart-shaped in the round stage, and we managed to be inside the heart. So we were 10 feet from the stage, like at all times.
Whoa.
Which was incredible.
Did you touch the edge?
I went to the edge, let me tell you. But the music that was played on the PA before the show was this British like alternative band, and there seemed to be about a handful of people around us who knew every word to every one of these songs.
Oh, wow.
It was Parachutes. It was Coldplay's first album. I remember coming back from that show, a friend burned us a copy of Parachutes, and it was cool because it was in my wheelhouse of alternative rock kind of thing. This is, to me, the album where all their strengths kind of come together. What about you? What's your memory of Coldplay?
Matt, do you know I originally grew up in Scotland?
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. You really honed in on not having that accent too strong.
I was able to adapt a Middle Eastern seaboard.
Sure. Delmarva.
No, not Delmarva. I still don't believe that's a thing. Although I have to admit, after that Epipod, you did send me some evidence.
Yeah.
You also sent me evidence that the moon landing was a hoax, so I don't know what to believe these days.
I have my sources.
It was in a pretty rough time. There was a lot of battling going on between my people and the English.
Sure.
Yeah, they were trying to take our land. They were trying to enslave us. And I just said, I'm not going to stand for it. So I just started attacking.
Sure.
Yada, yada, yada. Battle, battle, battle.
Blood, blood, blood. Decapitation.
Blood, blood. Yeah. But I inspired my people. I brought them together. I said, we can do this. We're going to be creative. We built these big, long stakes and put them on the ground. They were hidden. And so as the English were riding up to us on their horses.
What year was this?
I don't know. I'm a kid of the 80s. So
okay, yeah, sure.
Do the math. As they rode up on our horses, you pull up the long spikes too early and they'll stop their horses.
Sure.
So it's got to be right at the moment. So on my command, they're bearing down on us. They're riding the horses just like tick, 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 tick. And here they come. And then the guys are getting nervous. That's good. Thank you. Put me back there. And they're getting nervous, but I was just like, hold. Horses are coming and the guys are shaking, And I was like, hold, stay. And one of the guys is just like, did you say Coldplay? And I was like, what? Did you say Coldplay? Horses bearing down on us, I was like, can we talk about this later?
Yeah, weird timing.
Anyway, after that battle, I was like, anybody know what he was talking about with that Coldplay thing? They're like, oh, it's this English band.
Oh,
and
man.
So I wasn't interested.
Yeah.
While we were taking our dead off the field, somebody started singing The Scientist.
Oh, wow.
And that really touched my heart. I said, what tune is that? And he said, it's Coldplay. I was like, dang it. I guess I'm going to have to check them out.
Yeah.
That's how I found out about Coldplay.
Man, that's crazy ironic that you're sitting there killing the English.
Yeah.
And then you get introduced to this English band.
That just is killing it.
Yeah, they're killing it like y'all are.
Yeah.
What a story. I still love that movie.
I haven't seen it in years, but we watched it a lot.
I always wondered, like at the end of the movie, are they like disemboweling him? Or were they like tickling his feet? Because you can't really tell.
No, you can't.
So, yeah.
He became a legend, just like Coldplay.
Yep.
Let's get into the album. Coldplay's 2002 release begins with Politik.
Everyone
So they wrote this song on 9/11. He said they were confused and frightened, and he told the band that he wanted a song where they just hit our instruments as loudly as possible and dispensed with the idea of fragility, not to waste the potential missed opportunity of living in the now.
It breaks away from everything we had heard up to that point. It's also really different than everything else that follows on this album. So it's a brave way to start an album. Leading up to this, they kind of questioned whether they wanted to keep going on.
Really?
It was sort of like, how do you deal with this pretty sudden fame with Parachutes?
But they wanted to be a band. What was the issue with
Well, I think it's just, how do you follow that up?
Okay.
I know they wrote a ton of songs and trying to figure out how to follow up that album. The 4 songs after this are bona fide hits and singles and what we know Coldplay for. And they could have easily led off the album with any one of those.
Oh, yeah.
And it would have been like your standard hit-making template of an album.
While it is different from the other tracks that follow, it fits as an opening.
Mm-hmm.
I've never thought it's not a radio song.
Yeah,
Off of
yeah,
Out of Time.
right. Yeah.
He said that in the early stages that he would sing, "Look at Earth from outer space. Isn't this a crazy place?" And that Will, the drummer, would give him a look like, dude, that's so dumb.
That's a terrible line.
Yeah. What did he change it to? "Look at Earth from outer space. Everyone must find a place."
That's a little better.
Little. It's fine. Yeah. Let's introduce the band real quick.
Mm-hmm.
We got Chris Martin and then some other guys.
Well, you said Will, so Will gets a mention.
I watched some of the documentary last night, and they had a friend from university days follow them around and film them.
Like way back, early days.
In the 90s when they're just hanging out in the dorms.
Yeah.
They met at University College London, said that they were friends for a year before ever even playing music. 5 or 6 bands spawned from their dorm. There's always bands and everything, but it seemed like a very musical place and musical time. The band Keen, they were close with those guys. Sounds like it.
Yeah.
They're very, very similar.
Yeah.
But anyway, the band Coldplay ended up being Johnny Buckland on guitar, which is just a great rock and roll name.
Johnny Buckland.
Guy Berryman on bass, and Will Champion on drums. 4 dudes just seemed to be really based in their friendship. They didn't put an ad in the university paper, I'm looking for bassist or anything like that. They were just friends.
Much like U2 and NWA. They're always these weird combinations show how musically educated you are.
Yeah. That documentary was cool, though, because he had filmed them and been with them on this journey. There's a moment in there where it's the end of the year party in 1998, and Chris Martin is on camera, just talking to the camera like he did back then. And he's talking about, we're going to be huge. This is going to be on the national television in 4 years. You wait. And then it cuts to Glastonbury 4 years and 3 days later. It gave me chills. It's like, oh my gosh, what a ride!
How many bands say that?
Oh yeah,
I mean every band says that. Like,
yeah.
Oh, we're gonna be huge, and then you get what was the band on Boyz II Men?
Sudden Impact.
Sudden Impact. And you're like, well, what ever happened to them? Sudden Impact, I'm sure, was like, we're going places.
We're in the video from Motown Philly.
Right.
We're going to be huge.
Yeah. But then, to kind of speak it into existence like that, that's awesome to see it actually happen.
And cool that it was 4 years and 3 days later.
Yeah.
Glastonbury headlining.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Hundreds of thousands of people.
Yeah.
Did he also say, hey, I'm going to marry a Hollywood actress?
No, I don't think
and all the other guys like,
oh, here you go. What else are you going to do? Hey, I'm going to invent a color run. Every time I see him, man, it's colors exploding all around him.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's move on to the second song. This is In My Place.
Crossed lines I shouldn't have crossed. I was lost, oh yeah.
They won a Grammy for this one.
How about that?
Yeah, not bad.
They had left it off the first album, about to leave it off of this album.
Yeah.
It didn't even make the cut 2 times until the very end.
Apparently Chris Martin thought the whole album was, quote, rubbish.
This album?
Right up until the end.
Wow.
I think they re-recorded a few things and changed some things up and added this one.
Mm-hmm.
Probably a good decision to have this song on the
Yeah.
album. Got to be one of their signature songs.
They have so many songs after this. We could talk about all the albums that came afterwards and everything, but this is Coldplay to me, this album right here.
Okay.
He's got this introspective thing going on. You know, I was lost. I crossed lines I shouldn't have crossed.
Mm-hmm.
How long must you wait for it? You know,
Yeah.
It's not really detailed, but there's sentiments
Mm-hmm.
that he sings about and emotions that get captured that his voice does really well.
A longing in the
yeah.
voice. Mm-hmm.
And the music matches it too. I mean, this is post-college. I moved down to North Carolina in the year 2000, living with some roommates, dating somebody long distance, working a teaching job. It's miserable. So just Coldplay hit at the exact right time.
I could see that.
I remember my mom telling me that her dad, my grandfather, had said early to mid-20s was the hardest time of life.
I could see that.
Granted, for him, that was the Great Depression that he lived through. So maybe he was talking more specifically.
He was literally talking about the 1920s.
Yeah, right. The 20s, yeah. She misunderstood it. And I was like, oh, man, Grandpa knows.
Yeah.
It's that sort of like, if you went to college, then you've got this idyllic place, this bubble that you're in, and then you all scatter. Generally.
Yep.
And even if you stay in the same place, you're
working.
Yeah.
You're not hanging out all the time like you were.
No.
You have responsibilities you didn't have before.
Yeah. You don't have enough money, so you're not able to do all the fun things that you want to do. Or,
Yep.
Yeah, I think Coldplay is perfect for that. All right, next song, God Put a Smile on Your Face.
Where do we go to draw the line? I've gotta say I wasted all your time, honey, honey. Where do I go to fall from grace? God put a smile upon your face, yeah.
Sort of nebulous lyrics.
Yeah.
And what does it mean? And it could mean lots of things.
Yeah, your
Kinda
guess is as good as mine.
Right.
It's perfect for that time of life that we were in. You're figuring out friendships and relationships outside of the bubble of college. This is an example of a band that hit at the right place for us, at stage of life. But, if we were in middle school, there's probably a similar feeling that you would have. It's not telling a story that you have to be so locked into and tied to.
Yeah.
It is just phrases and feelings.
Driving home from your teaching job.
Exactly.
And you can kind of interpret it how you want. It's not like some anthemic storytelling country song that's so highly detailed and who shot who in which saloon and having to keep up with details like that. You can just kind of let it flow over you and enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah. A lot of the songs on this album and what Coldplay has been described as is simplistic.
Yeah. Sparse.
And I don't know if I'd say sparse.
Yeah, not sparse, but
Sparse makes it seem like there's a lot of space. They
Yeah.
fill it up.
they fill up the space. With Coldplay, you're not getting blistering guitar solos and
No.
power chords.
Or intricate bass lines.
No, it's the vocals and piano and keyboards, and they all kind of fill in the space. The guitar is there to almost add emotion to it versus carrying the tune. I remember reading a quote from The Edge where he was like, he felt like he never wanted to just waste a note on the guitar. Like every sort of note he plays is intentional and it has a place for it.
Mm-hmm.
You get that feeling from Coldplay. Like there's not going to be a random spare note out of place. And I don't mean that in a, oh, they're overly produced and they're trying to be too perfect. No, what I mean is they're playing just what they need to fit the song perfectly.
Yeah. It does feel a little bit formulaic at times.
Mm-hmm.
A song like this, I like that there's a little bit of harsher tone on the guitars. It helps to break up what can become monotonous if it's just like note and bass is playing the same thing.
Yeah, right. The song is kind of sandwiched between other like massive
Soft
quintessential
hits.
Coldplay soft hits.
Yeah. One critic said that God Put a Smile Upon Your Face is the slinkiest and best thing Coldplay have ever done.
What does slinkiest mean?
I don't know.
That a British term for clever or something?
Made me think of like sleazy
Okay.
a little bit.
Yeah,
not.
maybe so.
Apparently this was in season 2 of the series Alias.
Oh,
Did y'all watch Alias?
we have not watched Alias. I kind of want to go back and watch it because people love Alias.
I don't think it will be as shocking as it was for Kristen and I,
Mm-hmm.
because we got married and then binged that.
Okay.
First year of marriage is
What
like
a honeymoon.
is first year of marriage is marked by Alias, and part of it was, you're watching and there's this whole like undercover agent type thing, and then she finds out about these bad guys, and she goes into the trailer of like her handler. And it's like, I figured out this is connected to this and this person, basically paints a picture of some corruption 3 levels deep.
Mm-hmm.
He unfolds this map and shows her that you're basically looking at 3 levels of something that is,
Hundreds of levels. Dude.
yes,
Yeah.
spider web. And
Yeah.
it's always stayed with me.
Okay.
That image of, I think I know what's going on. And then somebody reveals like, no, this is a whole world we're dealing with here. That was the first show that I saw with the twists and turns that a Breaking Bad has or Lost. Now going back, I don't think it will be as impactful as it was then.
Mm-hmm.
Similar to how we've talked about a movie like Die Hard.
Well, I had not seen Die Hard in probably 20 years. Every Christmas you read the debates, best Christmas movies,
Right.
and Die Hard's on there. I will agree, I do think it's a Christmas movie. We watched it over the holidays, and even the whole Yippee-Ki-Yay part.
Yeah.
In my mind, as like a 12-year-old, however old I was when I saw it the first time, I thought he said that line right before blowing something up, jumping down
Does
like
he
an
not?
elevator shaft. No, he says it, and then he like enters a stairwell.
Yeah, in my mind, that was like the line of the
The
movie.
line, yeah. And even a couple of my kids had heard people talk about that line.
You say that all the time.
yeah,
to
I'm
them.
always like, passing the bread, and I say that,
I got an A on my spelling test. Well, yippee-ki-yay.
Even the kids were kind of like, that's it?
Yeah.
That's the line,
Yeah, it's like something that was really tricky when you're young.
Yeah.
Well, since then, things have developed to get even more complex or more tricky. So you look back, it's so simple.
Yeah.
It's similar to when like your parents show you a comedy sketch from like Laugh-In or something.
Yeah.
And you watch it and you're like, oh, okay, that's kind of funny. You're thinking, have you seen Kids in the Hall? Mr. Show?
Yeah.
You know?
Then I'll show my kids in the hall, and they're like, huh.
Yeah,
That's
that's
funny.
kind of funny.
That's kind of funny.
It's not as impactful as it was for us growing up.
Yeah.
Let's keep rolling. Next song is The Scientist. This is about Dr. Fauci.
I think so.
Yeah.
Or Frankenstein. One of the two.
Come up to meet you, tell you I'm sorry. You don't know how lovely you are. I had to find you, tell you I need you, tell you I set you apart. Tell me your secrets and ask me your questions. Now let's go back to the start. Running in circles, coming in tails, heads on the sides apart. Nobody said it was easy. It's such a shame for us to part. take me back to the start.
Something about the piano, I think, that is kind of slightly
Out of tune.
Mm-hmm. If you played along with it, that it wouldn't exactly match. Also, the chords that he's playing, like, doesn't GCD.
Yeah.
He plays some pretty complex voicings in there, so he really is talented.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about this. There's a ton of hate for Coldplay.
Yeah.
And so even doing this album, I thought, oh, Coldplay. I don't listen to them anymore, but I don't know the reason for the hate.
Yeah.
As I got back into this album, I thought, no, they're actually really talented. He does this melancholy thing, but it's not just the lyrics. And you can't do just melancholy chords or melody. You got to do both, and it all has to mesh. If he had just terrible lyrics, we wouldn't like this song, even if it felt melancholy. He reaches our emotions. Can't deny that.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why people hate him. I don't know.
He was apparently trying to come up with a song similar to George Harrison's Isn't It a Pity?
Some things take so long, but how do I explain? Not too many people can see we're all the same. And because
You can kind of feel and that tempo with the song. I think that hate that you talked about kind of comes from the fact that a song like this that does all those things you just said, musically it's emotional, lyrically it's emotional, it can be anthemic. It's the kind of song that essentially spurred every key high emotional point of Grey's Anatomy for like the next 15 years. I mean, like any sort of TV drama show, whether it's this or like The Fray, or I mean, it's heavy piano, it's lush vocals, it's emotive. Probably say it kind of started with this song. This spurred it. And so the hating on Coldplay thing, it comes from bands and artists who get really, really big. Sometimes there's an instinct to to kind of get tired of them. He goes Hollywood and marries Gwyneth Paltrow. And
do you think people hate?
I don't think people necessarily hate. It kind of elevates you from English college band who got really, really big to now you're a super celebrity.
It's the whole Christy Brinkley, Billy Joel thing.
Yeah.
Do people not like it when an everyman who is only famous because of his music marries some model or something like that?
Yeah, could be.
We talked about Counting Crows, Adam Duritz dating the Friends. People are like, what?
It somehow gives people the impression that you're not as genuine. Like, it's not about the music anymore. It's about the fame, and it's about the celebrity.
Maybe it's for people who were vulnerable and we believed them. Then when they get famous, it's like, oh, this is all fake.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing with Coldplay is they got bigger and bigger. We talked about, like, they're wearing, like, matching colorful clothes, and there's this whole look to them, which, again, doesn't seem like you're the four college guys just kind of driving yourselves to gigs and make a go of it.
I think people give the sentimentality and emotion a hard time.
Yeah.
I've heard it said that they're like an oral chick flick.
Oh, yeah.
It's thin. It's not real. It just tugs on your emotions. But I don't know how you listen to the song and you're not feeling something.
Yeah.
I've been trying to figure it out. I've been digging into why people hate them. There's a couple reasons that people put out there, but there doesn't seem to be one specific thing that makes them insufferable to people.
Must be some combination of all those things we mentioned. They're not hard or gritty enough for some folks, probably.
Well, and a lot of that music at that time, Snow Patrol, Keane, The Fray, there's like a dozen bands like that. You can look back and you're like, it's kind of lukewarm.
Yeah.
Coldplay feels very lukewarm. And so they did evolve from that. People don't hate on Snow Patrol or Doves.
No.
And maybe that's because Coldplay kept going. They got too big. If they stopped with this album, I don't think people would be hating on
Probably
Coldplay.
not.
They would
Probably
look
not.
back and be like, man, that album was great.
Yeah. Well, and then, a couple albums later, Viva La Vida comes out, and that's another just massive album, huge hit. They get even more lush and highly produced, and I still love that album. But I feel like that's also where, like, the hate for them began. That's where they became mega, mega superstars. Up until that point, the songs like from this album are the songs you hear on Grey's Anatomy type shows, and you're hearing them a lot. And maybe that's it. Maybe it's that they're kind of pigeonholed into, like, if you're listening to the soft rock station, the folks who love TV nighttime dramas, you're hearing Coldplay. And it kind of is all in that mix.
They're like the 2000s yacht rock.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you said, that soft rock, there's a softness. In researching The Hate, someone talked about their Super Bowl performance and said, Chris Martin is a man who seemingly cannot transition between one place and another without skipping. It says he slides across the floor like a toddler at a preschool disco, high on Calypso cups, and punches and kicks the air.
Oh, gosh.
I don't love what they become, kind of the whole hand spinning, the whole color run. Would we have those without Coldplay?
Gosh, makes you wonder.
Because every concert, they're just exploding color into the air.
Color and confetti. And
I haven't seen them live, but just watching online, it reminded me of that sort of intimacy and closeness that I felt from The Scientist and In My Place. They somehow took that and they made that corporate. In that sense, it's very much, it's emotions, but it's very out loud.
Yeah.
Everyone together singing and feeling those emotions.
Yeah.
Like when I see the footage, I absolutely want to be there. To me, they out U2 in that sense.
I can see that. I mean, we saw them on the Viva La Vida tour.
Oh, yeah?
What you just described is perfect. It's how you take this intimate, emotional, personal connection and put it into like a stadium or an amphitheater, and they make it work somehow. They came out in the middle of the crowd and did like a smaller acoustic kind of set. They shot the confetti up. They are able to do that, like you said, as well as U2, maybe even better than U2.
The reason I think they do it better is because that's all they do. Where U2 rocks, and then they will have moments where everybody's singing I Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For together.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, you went to the show, but it feels like most of the Coldplay show is those moments.
Yeah.
People love it.
Absolutely.
What a breakup song. If you've broken up with somebody, it's such a shame for us to part. Nobody said it would be easy, but nobody said it would be this hard. Like, everyone can relate to that.
Exactly.
Because he doesn't get into specifics. It's not like, girl, I'm sorry. I cheated on you.
Yeah.
You know. Okay, next song, Clocks.
Lights go out and I can't be saved. Tides that I tried to swim against brought me down upon my knees. Oh, I beg and plead, singing, come out of things unsaid. Shouldn't I pull off my head? And a trouble that can't be named. A tiger's waiting to be tamed, singing.
I think it was this song in concert when we saw them. Not surprising. Towards the end of the show, big hit, crowd favorite. Starts off with that piano. When the rest of the band kicks in, that's when the confetti came out.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thousands of people singing along, caught up in the moment. Confetti shoots up into the sky. Everybody's reaching for confetti. It's a souvenir of the show, of the moment. We can pick on them and hate on them all we want, but it's a big moment in that show, and it works. It was a great moment. They bring it.
Yeah.
They can bring it live like that.
For me, this is that Coldplay sound.
It's quintessential. It's piano.
Yeah, piano with driving bass and drums behind it and simple lead guitar lines. So, Matt, seems like we both agree Coldplay, not deserving of all the hate, at least to the degree that people spit venom at them. Especially this era of Coldplay has a place in my heart because of the stage of life, the way they gave voice and emotion to that time and place I was in. Now, listeners, one thing that we do is we always challenge one another. If you had to remove a song, which one would it be? Matt, you're going to go on a run
Oh, no.
just around the neighborhood, and they're going to be in the Coldplay mobile beside you with a truck, and it's going to be filled with like people dancing, and they're going to be shooting color out of you.
paint guns with color and...
Every time you go for a jog, it's going to be a color run by Coldplay
Oh,
if you
God.
don't remove a song from A Rush of Blood to the Head. So if you had to remove a song, which one would it be?
Sure. I do think this album as a whole holds up pretty well. I think it's also very front heavy. There are some later songs that even when I was really into this album, I didn't spend a lot of time with. So I think the album kind of fades off a bit in the second half of it. But for me, the song I would remove would be A Rush of Blood to the Head.
He said, I'm gonna buy this place and burn it down. I'm gonna put it 6 feet underground. He said, I'm gonna buy this place and watch it fall.
There are other songs that Coldplay does where it's really just Chris Martin and a strumming guitar, and I think they're beautiful. This one just is very blah to me.
Even when it picks up?
Even when it picks up, and it seems like he's even trying in some ways to tell a little bit more of a story, giving nebulous emotion. That's what I want out of my Coldplay. So that's the one I would remove.
Okay.
What about you? What song would you remove?
I would take off Green Eyes.
Green eyes, you're the one that I wanted to find. And anyone who tried to deny you must be out of their mind.
I like my Chris Martin plucking on that piano,
Yeah.
or dancing around, kicking the air, spinning, skipping.
Yeah.
It just kind of feels like a mediocre folk song.
See, that's one of the ones I like. It's a little bit more upbeat. There's some pretty melody, I think, to Green
Upbeat.
Eyes. The strumming is a little bit more upbeat.
Yeah, I think it feels like kind of bad country feel.
I could see that, too.
That's the part where I'm just like, guys, don't lean country.
Yeah.
You're not Wilco. Before we close out, it's time for your senior quote. It's your senior year. You got your yearbook picture. You're about to say goodbye, move on
Peace out.
with a job or with college. And under your senior year picture, you get to put a quote to represent either the journey that you're closing out or the road that lies ahead. So, Matt, from Rush of Blood to the Head, what would your senior quote be?
Yeah, I think this one, to me, encapsulates what we're feeling at that time where you're on the precipice of the next stage of life. I would pick these lines from Clocks. Confusion never stops. Closing walls and ticking clocks.
That feels similar to me, the person in the 70s, like using a Pink Floyd line.
Yeah, that's right.
We always talk about the different approaches that we would take.
Yeah.
I kind of want to leave people with a little bit of mystery and make them kind of wonder, like, did I really know that guy? My senior quote would be, I'm going to buy this place and burn it down.
Whoa.
And then people would be like, wait, what? Is he going to really buy the school?
Can you do that? Can
Yeah.
you buy a
Is he an
school?
evil villain waiting to happen? Mystery.
Are you listening right now?
We love engaging with you on social media, whether it's Instagram or Twitter at Finest Work Songs or on our Facebook page. Be sure to check out our website, finestworksongs.com, and please keep those emails coming to our Gmail account, finestworksongs@gmail.com, and who knows, maybe we'll read a Kenny Gmail of yours in a future Epipod.
We'll be back with another Epipod soon. Valentine's Day is coming.
Oh.
If you need love advice, this is not the place, but we'll have some music for you. Our theme song is by the incredible band Medium Heat. This track is called Radio, and you should check them out at mediumheat.bandcamp.com. And check out any upcoming shows if you are in the Raleigh area. They are on Facebook at Medium Heat